what's going on YouTube. So today we are going to be cooking a really simple prawn recipe. It's garlic masala prawns but cooked in panko breadcrumbs. Now it looks like a lot on the table, but it's really simple. So what you need for this recipe, you need minced garlic and ginger, probably about 3 cloves of garlic minced and a small knob of ginger. You also need some distilled white vinegar, salt, pepper, soy sauce, any will do, but Kikkoman's got a really rich soy sauce taste. 1 lime for tang, some honey, ketchup, only a little bit, some olive oil for cooking and getting the marinade together, some spice paste. Now this is Kashmiri masala spice paste. You can use any spice paste that you want, but this one's got a really nice mixture of paprika, ginger, garlic and peppers as well, so it's really tasty. You want some chopped tomatoes, probably about 3 or 4 tablespoons worth. And you've got Tandoori masala powder, probably about 2 large tablespoons, and 1 large tablespoon of Garam masala. And this you can buy from the shops, pretty much any supermarket sells it. Over on this side, we've got the breading ingredients. We've got some plain flour, we've got 1 egg, we've got some Panko breadcrumbs. These are a Japanese breadcrumb and they're quite chunky, so when you fry them, they go really crispy, super delicious. We've also got some onions here because we're going to saute the onions on its own before we mix it into the sauce. So what we need to do, add in your garlic and ginger. I'm going to go with some olive oil as well just to help it mix. Again, probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Just judge the amount. You don't want it too oily because we're going to be frying these anyway. You want some tomato ketchup, just a little squeeze. That's probably about 2 tablespoons worth. Some honey, probably about 1 tablespoon worth of honey. Put in about 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Your chopped tomatoes, a little bit of salt, not too much salt because we're going to be putting soy sauce in this, just a little bit of pepper, probably about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Again, when we cook this down, all the water kind of evaporates, so it creates like a thick paste. Your garam masala and your tandoori powder in, and we want to go with our spice paste. Nearly finished this one. About that much will do. This is quite chilly as well, hence you've noticed I haven't put any chilli in this recipe. It all comes from the spice paste. Last but not least, you want half a lime. One half for the marinade, 1 half to garnish the dish. Squeeze that in. Give it a mix. And there you go. So what we're going to do, go to the cooker, cook it up and take from there. So we've got our marinade ready. We're going to cook this down a little bit, but first we need to cook down our blended onions just to remove some of the bitterness. So I've got a pan here over I'd say a medium heat, just a bit of olive oil in here. When it gets hot, we're going to want to chuck in our onions, saute them for about 3 to 4 minutes until they're slightly brown, and then chuck in our sauce. So I'll catch you when it heats up. Once the oil is heated up, add in the onions. You'll probably hear a sizzle. That's what we want to hear. We'll let these cook down for about 4 minutes. As you can see, they're browned ever so slightly. Because they'll continue to cook once we have the sauce, we might as well chuck it in right now. So this sauce is going to sizzle and it's going to release all the aromatic spices which we put in it. It smells absolutely insane. So what we're going to want to do is cook this on a medium heat for about 4 to 5 minutes again until most of the liquid evaporates. At this point it will turn into a thick paste which we can put to the side while we cook our prawns. Right, it's been about 4 minutes now and as you can see a lot of the liquid's evaporated. we're kind of left with a thick paste. And to be fair, this consistency is pretty much good to go. So now it's time to cook the prawns and make them super crispy. So here I've got 1 packet of jumbo peeled cooked prawns. It makes it so much easier if they're already cooked. One extra addition, you need to make sure your prawns are deveined. It helps with the cooking and it's also a bit more hygienic as well. What we mean by that is taking a prawn, taking a paring knife and slowly going down the back of the prawn like this. And then usually there's a vein in here. You just pull it out and dispose. You don't really want to eat the vein. But secondly, when you cook prawns which have been deveined, they butterfly, so they open up with cooking, the flavour gets in and it's insane. So there's your prawns. I'm going to take some plain flour and put a tad into the plate. You can really just eyeball this. Usually you probably want about 3 to 4 tablespoons. Add 1 more. This should be enough to coat the prawns. Add our prawns into this mix. Now the prawns are naturally wet, so the plain flour is going to stick onto them and coat them quite nicely. I'm going to crack 1 egg into another bowl. And you want to give that a whisk. And then in my final bowl, I've got some Panko breadcrumbs. Now, I kind of ran out during the course of the video, so I've only got half a bowl full, but usually you probably want a whole bowl full, depending on how many prawns that you're cooking. So, let's start with mixing the prawns in the flour. Literally, you just got to get your hands involved in this. There's no easy way of doing it. You just really want to make sure that every single prawn has been coated with flour. Right, we've got our prawns coated in plain flour. So here we go. Dip into the egg wash, make sure it's all coated, dip it into the Panko breadcrumbs, sprinkle all over, and there you go. 1 breadcrumbed prawn ready for shallow frying. Right, so we have breaded our prawns and they're ready to shallow fry. Because the prawns are already cooked, it will only take about 1 to 2 minutes further cooking to make the crumbs nice and golden brown. You don't want to cook it for longer than that, otherwise your prawns will become really chewy and it's not a great taste. So the oil's been heating up for about 3 to 4 minutes now. To test it, take a little bit of your mixture, chuck it in, and there you go, you can see that it starts bubbling straight away. So what you want to do, turn the heat down ever so slightly, chuck in your prawns for about 1 minute each side until it goes golden brown. The trick is not to move them around too much, otherwise they won't cook properly. You want to trust the process. 1 minute on each side and you're good to go. Right, so that's been about a minute. We're going to start flipping these over. You can see they've gone nice and golden brown. It really is that quick. Another minute on the other side, and then we can add in our sauce, and we're nearly done. So here's the paste that we cooked earlier. What you can do is you can use a small portion of this for now, and you can freeze the rest in an ice cube tray, and just take it out whenever you need it. So what we're going to do, for that amount of prawns, we want a nice spoonful like this, chuck it in, and then mix it around. So what we use is our lime from earlier. Squeeze it in as much as possible. Stir it around. There you have it. So all we need to do now is plate this up and enjoy. Garlic chili prawns with Panko breadcrumbs, absolutely delicious. Enjoy.